Euzubillahimineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve ehlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli. Selamun aleyküm ve rahmetullahi ve berekatuh. Uh, okay, we will inshallah read from the 29th letter, second station, second section, which is the treatise on the month of Ramadan. Who wants to read? We will just read the intro part and then the first point. It's not a long read. Any volunteer? Okay, everybody ate their food, about to sleep. So we need a high voice, like a cool reading. Would you like to read it for us? No? Okay. Okay. Sister Sarah, would you like to read it for us? Since you are practicing, the speaking anyway. Just the intro and the first point, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The second section, which is the second treatise on the month of Ramadan, there having been a brief discussion of the marks of Islam at the end of the first section, the most brilliant and splendid of the marks, Ramadan the Noble, is discussed in this second section. This section consists of 9 points which explain 9 of the numerous instances of wisdom in the month of Ramadan. In the name of God, the Merciful, the Compassionate, it was the month of Ramadan in which the Quran was bestowed from on high as a guidance unto man and a self-evident proof of that guidance and as the standard to discern true from false. First point, the fast of Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, and it is one of the greatest of the marks and observances of Islam. There are many purposes and instances of wisdom in the fast of Ramadan, which look to both God Almighty's dominicality and to man's social life, his personal life, and the training of his instinctual soul, and to his gratitude for divine bounties. One of the many instances of wisdom in fasting from the point of view of God's Almighty's dominicality is as follows. God Almighty created the face of the earth in the form of a table laden with bounties, and arranged on the table every sort of bounty in a form of from whence he does not expect. In this way, stating the perfection of his dominicality and his mercifulness and compassionateness. Human beings are unable to discern clearly the reality of this situation while in the sphere of causes under the veil of heedlessness, and they sometimes forget it. However, during the month of Ramadan, the people of belief suddenly become like a well-drawn-up army. As sunset approaches, they display a worshipful attitude as though, having been invited to the pre-eternal monarch's banquet, they are awaiting the command of fall to and help yourselves. They are responding to the compassionate, illustrious, and universal mercy with comprehensive, exalted, and orderly worship. Do you think those who do not participate in such elevated worship and noble bounties are worthy to be called human beings?
Any initial comments, thoughts? Let's start with the ayah. We probably mentioned this multiple times, maybe more than even multiple times at different occasions. But so help me, they understand this ayah defines the month of Ramadan. How? The month of Ramadan, which is you do what? According to this ayah, what is the most significant aspect of month of Ramadan? Or let's start from somewhere else, your minds, not the ayah first. When we say Ramadan, what is the first thing comes to mind? Fasting. Who said that? Oh, okay. Thank you. Jazakallah. Fasting, right? Any objections? No. The second thing, food. Fasting, food. Suhoor. Yeah. Sorry. Laylatul Qadr. MashaAllah. Taraweeh. Okay. So we are at what? 7 now? What is the first thing the ayah mentions with the Ramadan? Like how the structure of the ayah, it's like I will, like it first gives the name and then gives the definition. Like when it says Shahru Ramadan Allazi, right? It's like the Ramadan is the name and then comes the definition of it, which is what? I mean, cheat. Read from the text. It is the month. This is the month of Ramadan in which Quran was bestowed. Quran was sent down. So definition of the Ramadan, the main, like let's say the most important aspect of the Ramadan is Quran being revealed. It says bestowed. The ayah says unzila, like revealed, right? Sent down. So then the first thing is Quran, not sound, not the fasting, not food. Yusuf?
So, this is Surah Baqarah, verse number 185. In 183, it was mentioning Kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum. So, fasting is prescribed upon you as it was prescribed to those before you. But the concluding part actually ties to what you were emphasizing, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you attain taqwa. The purpose of fasting is being described in these verses as attaining taqwa, God consciousness. And then on this background, Ramadan is being mentioned as the month of Quran. So I guess some sort of a relationship between taqwa, attaining taqwa, and Quran being revealed should be there.
And this is exactly how author will approach the topic as well. So the ayah is all about the Quran being revealed as a guidance. Another as like an important thing in ayah. Quran is described as what? Guidance for whom? Mankind or humankind. Hudan linnas, right? Not for believers or God conscious or the one who have taqwa, but for human beings. So as if it's saying that the Quran, when I say Quran here, the ayah says, I'm talking about its, the aspect of it which looks at the entire humanity. Don't take it as just your sacred book of Muslims, right? So we will talk about the Quran or the revelation as a guidance which is for the entire humanity. So as if listen to it with your the humanity, not with your preconceived identities. I'm an Egyptian, I'm an Turkish, I'm a Muslim, I'm from Pakistan, a better Muslim than, my neighbor. No, don't do that. Look at as a human being. Whatever is being revealed, look at as a human being, not even as a Muslim. Okay? And then what author does, author starts talking about the fasting though. Okay? But what it does, again, there are many purposes and instances of wisdom in the fast of Ramadan, which look to both God Almighty's dominicality, Rububiyah, which is directly related to revelation. Only the one who is Rabb sends down revelation. And to man's social life, his personal life, and the training of his instinctual soul, nafs, and to his gratitude for divine bounties, shukr, giving thanks, right? We studied this weeks ago, last 2 weeks, sorry. So what I'm trying to say, he takes the fasting and he says the fasting is there actually to prepare you for something, so that you will aware of this, the dominicality, so that you will train your nafs. We will come to that, what it means to train your nafs. Okay? We usually take it as, I fasted, I didn't get hungry, so I'm, the stronger than before now. So I trained my body so that it gets hungry, but still can function like a military training, right? They let you go hungry for a few days, maybe, so that you can stand the hunger, right? You eat just tiny things, insects, right? In extreme cases, if you are the special unit commandos, right? That kind of training, we usually take it this way. Right? We say, okay, I'm training myself. I can stand hunger. Now I became a better person. I'm stronger, right? This is one way to take the training. Nafs. So anyway, author says this is there, the fasting there for a purpose. When we reach the end, how many points? 5 points. Anyway, we will see that the fasting is there actually to prepare us to receive the revelation, to understand the revelation. It will go back to the revelation again. Okay? So that with these explanations in mind, let's start discussing the first point. Okay, people help me. Oh, Zena, yeah.
I guess one thing that you said that caught my attention was preparing us that fasting serves to prepare us to receive the revelation. But I guess in the beginning, at least for me, it feels like I'm preparing myself to receive food. I don't feel like I'm in the need is so strong that, as I'm getting closer to Maghrib, it's more so thinking, trying to think about, oh, what's iftar versus I don't know how to turn that, because at the end of the day, I do need to eat. But I guess how do I turn that into, or how do I see it as trying to receive revelation when there's a very pressing need that I want to fulfill?
Very good point, Yusuf.
I think ideally being conscious and trying to read into it is important. But as Sister Zareen says, we are laser focused on the type of the food as it comes around iftar time rather than what does that mean, generally speaking. But one of the things that's important is, like, I guess most of the people in this room are from some mathematical sciences type of people, like, and that type of a training gives you a certain worldview. But if you have social science friends, their training is giving them a totally different worldview, like a political scientist, I don't know, anthropologist, whatever it is. The way they deal with problems is quite different. I mean, nobody teaching them, like, for example, an architect, like, the mindset is wired in a way that you're trying to quantify things and then see if it is fitting, and like this becomes your second nature over time. But when it comes to, you bought a house is already built, like your architecture knowledge is useless at this point. The building is already built. But even when you're going to put the cushions around and whatnot, this second nature starts kicking in and you act accordingly. So another example could be soldiers, like career soldiers. I lived with one such brother for some time, more than 1 year. Like, they are wired different. Like, the way he treats people, he interacts with people is different. It became their second nature. So I think even I'm not 100% conscious of what I'm doing with fasting, this inherent meaning of fasting, meaning I am just even thinking about food but nothing else right before iftar, is instilling something in me, a realization of my neediness. So in this regard, still there's this benefit of teaching me who my creator is just because of the nature of it. I mean, another extreme example, just to give you an idea about what I'm trying to mean here. There was this one brother who was very good at playing any sports when we were in high school. Like, he was the best in soccer, he was the best in basketball. And these were the only two sports we have anyways. So no polo. No polo. But like, he has those muscles. And this is 2002, 2003, before the invention of gym in Turkey. Like, he has muscles. And he would wear those tight clothes just to show his muscles and whatnot. One day when he was swimming somewhere, he was about to get drowned. And then somehow Allah saved him, and he was a super pious brother for the next month. I mean, of course, it died away eventually. But the event itself is reminding you your neediness, how fragile of a life you have, and your muscles don't mean much. You have a protector, you have a sustainer. So it wakes us up. So it happens in everybody's life, I guess. But same thing has this sense of it in fasting as well, because of how vulnerable we realize we are right before iftar.
And I would say this is the main thing with the fasting, right? Otherwise, you would just read some ayahs about how needy you are, or you would just listen some lectures about how needy you are. But you learn, like, you know how needy you are only when you are needy. Like, this is how human beings, they learn things. We learn things through experiences. We understand that I am needy, not because somebody explains how my biology works. Oh, I need water, I need food, I need sun, etc. No, I understand that I'm needy when I am needy. Okay? So I think that that's the best, like one of the best the aspect of being human. We don't only have this mechanic relationship with the reality. We also have this, the experiential dimension, that I can be aware of my hunger. I can understand, I can appreciate my hunger. Meaning, when I am hungry, I act differently. I'm so impatient. So this is how you understand you are needy. That's maybe the beauty of worship in general. Like most worship, when you think about it, it's an experiential ground for whatever we need to learn. When you do salah, right? This experience is the best teacher for you that you've been provided and you need to thank. Or there is someone above you when you prostrate. Right? This experience. Yes,
I feel like I cut your sentence short.
no, that was good.
But yeah, I was just looking at this point, like in addition to what everyone said, when it says that, you know, these purposes and instances of wisdom in the fast of Ramadan look to God Almighty's dominicality, rububiyyah, and to man's social life, his personal life. So I was just thinking about because this neediness aspect is touching upon, you know, how I experience God's sustainership, right? His rububiyyah. But then I was also thinking about where it says the human being's social life. And oftentimes, that's treated as, you know, during Ramadan, we come together during iftar community, like we all experience it here, or even during Taraweeh, like the masjid's full, you know, throughout the month, you see people you might not have seen otherwise. So there's definitely that sense of community. And I guess one can easily interpret that line about social life being just on this front. But I was thinking that maybe we can also understand how it looks to my social life in terms of like when I sit down and, you know, break fast with other people, it's not just, oh, I feel good, I'm with my friends and family, but it's that, oh, I'm needy here, I come with hunger, and the person next to me is also experiencing that same hunger and same neediness. Just as I'm being provided, I'm experiencing my Rab's sustainership, they are also experiencing sustainership from the same Rab. So I guess that the aspect of God's sustainership that looks to me, but also how he's taking care of all other created beings, just as he takes care of me. I think there's that shared experience, that shared neediness dimension of it that I feel is perhaps also being touched upon by just social. It goes beyond just socio-personal relationships there.
MashaAllah, right? When author says like a dominicality, when we talk about the dominicality, then it's not only Rab of me, but also the Rab of everyone. Like I'm sitting on the floor about to eat food, I'm so impatient, and I look at my right and see my most beloved friend, you know, the brother, and I see that he is even more impatient than me, although he, you know, he's driving a very luxurious car. I'm just hypothetically speaking. So, I mean, a few days ago, he was the guy, right? He is the one who has everything. But now we are on the same table and looking at the same food and being impatient for it at the same time. So whoever is controlling the setup is above all of us, even above, you know, the people with these luxury cars. We will come to that, you know, inshallah, in the future points. Any other comments? Anyone? Oh, Sister Sarah, please.
Yeah, I just had a question concerning the last point in the first point, the last sentence. Like, do you think those who do not participate in such elevated worship and noble bounties are worthy to be called human beings? So I don't understand why he went to the extreme of not calling someone a human being.
Jazakallah khairan. Yeah, this is the first time I realized the connection as well. Like after highlighting, how Quran being revealed to human beings, as mentioned in the ayah. Now, as if author is saying that when ayah talks about the human beings, this is what it means to be human. And let's try to understand, what he means with that before jumping into any conclusion. Let's start with, human beings are, God Almighty created the face of the earth in the form of a table laden with bounties. And then he says, but human beings are not able to discern clearly this reality. Why? Why we are not able to discern this reality? So author says, look at around you, right? Anywhere in the creation, you will see all these beautiful bounties. You just ate food and then dessert, and now some drinks. It's not ending, right? You've been served I hope it will end, but yeah, in creation it does not end. So you've been served all the time with the food, with the air, with the sight, with health, with being able to do this, do that, whatever. But behind the veil of heedlessness and sphere of causes, he says, we tend to forget, or we tend to not being able to discern all these bounties. Let's start from there, and inshallah it will be clearer what it means to be human. So this is the easy part. I'm sure you can all talk about that, so please help me, right? There are all these bounties around, all these beautiful things being created for us, but within this sphere of causes and the veil of heedlessness, we sometimes do not see that. Give me some examples, what it means. So, author says, in the creation, there are all these bounties everywhere. They are being created just for us, for our service. But within the sphere of causes and in the veil, due to veil of the heedlessness, sometimes we do not, or most of times, we do not see this. Let's open this up a little bit with some examples.
Just to highlight one thing, like we studied this topic last year, but we need repetition every year. So, and also we have newcomers. Those who were here last year, please to talk.
Okay, help me. Bounties, sphere of causes, not being able to see the bounties. Zerin, please go ahead.
So I guess maybe to kind of go off of the example of us sitting here and like receiving food, receiving tea, alhamdulillah. So these are all bounties, but I guess it can be a bit difficult to say in the moment that it's from God Almighty, like who has sent down this like table or arrangement of food and drink for us. Rather, I came to a specific like family's house and they cooked all the food, and then these brothers are serving tea. They made the tea and are serving the tea. So I guess I could get like
kind of caught up in that like mindset too, where what I'm seeing is actually people who are arranging the table. And yeah, and not maybe not like my like rub or my sustainer. Like maybe that's the veil. Like there's people serving.
Oh, yeah, mashallah. And so it becomes, I guess, harder when there are other people in the example. Like it is Brother Yusuf who's serving the food. Obviously, it's Brother Yusuf serving the food, right? So it is hard to maybe go from there. Let's start with maybe easier examples. Like I'm walking on the street, not in Philadelphia, but somewhere else, there are no trash. And I see, the beautiful things around. Where? Sweden, yes. Maybe our brother William can tell us about that. And I see all these beautiful things around. It could be, the birds, just the earth. I don't know, water, just air. It's a warm air, let's say. Do we see it as kind of a bounty, like something given to us? What is bounty? Bounty is something that is given for our pleasure, right? So that we enjoy. Do we see things in the creation as bounties? If not, why? Sister Sarah, please. Okay, let's start with Zaha and then Sarah, inshallah.
I think something that a lot of us fall into is feel like entitled to good air, good water. It's like, shouldn't it be, it's like expected that we are given all of these because even if you believe in a creator, because you were created to be dependent on water, to be dependent on air. So a lot of times we fall into the thinking that, well, what else should the creator do, in a sense? It's an arrogant way of thinking, but it can be a veil to seeing everything that we're given as bounties because we already expect it to be like that. Even if you think this is the order that Allah has created it with, you see it from a lens of, well, isn't it how it should be?
Yep. And let's look at it as a human being, as we highlighted, not as a believer necessarily. We take, oh yeah, Sister Sarah, please. We take, as you said, all these things as granted, right? The air, I mean, what is special with the air? The atmosphere of the earth was formed, I don't know, a few billions years ago because of this movement, that movement. And so what do you expect me to say, right? Air, it's there. Sister Sarah, please.
I just wanted to comment on like why, if we're walking in Sweden, let's say, and we don't see the things around us as bounties, because as you said, or the author I think said, we're kind of like trapped in this causality thing. So like we think that like the good things that we feel are inherent to the things that are like giving us these feelings. Like if I feel good when like there's a nice breeze, I would, and I can sense that, and I would feel that it's hard as a human to think that it's not because of this breeze I'm feeling this way. Like I could sense this breeze with whatever, senses I have with my skin. And I think that this is because this is the wind itself is making me feel this way. The same thing when I eat something. So if I eat an apple, not my favorite fruit, but tastes good, let's say, I would think that the sustenance, I'm not feeling hungry anymore, is because of the apple itself. Like I would feel this is inherent to the apple. The same thing with taking a medicine. Like this is how we correlate things. This is how we like kind of like experience the, like this is the firsthand experience, I would say. I wouldn't go further and say that, oh, this is not, you know, the apple itself, or this is not the medicine itself, or this is not the water itself. Like I wouldn't think that in a different scenario when I'm not hungry and I would eat, it wouldn't be a sustenance, it would actually be something harmful. So I wouldn't make that correlation right away. Because of like, I think because of how, you know, we grew up, how we're like studying things like this, like everything, we sense this, like the universe with our senses, everything is very materialistic. And most of the times we learn that correlation doesn't mean causation, but actually this is how we go through things, you know, like if I eat something, it makes me feel good, then this goodness most probably is coming from this thing and not from something else. Yeah.
Yeah. It is very good. Like, I guess we can even go a few steps further and say that we don't even enjoy things most of the time. Like you've been generous, assuming that, you know, something good happens to us, or something ordinary, whatever it means, happens to us, and we feel good, but we assume it's from the thing itself, you said. But in most cases, we don't even feel good. This sense of gratitude towards anything, even towards the thing itself, most of the time it's not there. When I woke, I don't remember when was the last time I appreciated being able to walk. Or I'm trying to catch my work, let's say a meeting. I don't appreciate that I have a meeting, which gives, you know, which will lead to some salary, right? Let's say I have a fight with my wife, which will never happen. I mean, never happens. And I don't appreciate that I have a wife, or I have an opinion which is opposite of, you know, my wife's opinion. Let's say that I can think, I can, you know, have an opinion about something, agree or disagree with, you know, the person, doesn't matter. We don't even appreciate, we don't even feel good about most of the things. Like my relationship with my clothings, like we've been studying this, being grateful, right? My relationship with my clothes, for instance, is that I complain when something bad happens to them. I said, oh, this thing, my daughter destroyed my beautiful shirt. I don't appreciate that I have a shirt before it gets stained. So the heedlessness, as author says, it's always there and causing us not seeing any bounty around us, not like there's nothing to be appreciated. To appreciate. Right? This is our usual state. And when we appreciate, when we do appreciate, it's usually appreciation of our talents, skills that led me to this beautiful thing. I have this beautiful shirt. Why? Because I have a good taste of fashion. I have this beautiful shirt because I was able to afford it. I work hard. I have the best car because, you know, I know about cars. I wouldn't waste my money because I know about the finance and where to invest, etc. There's a problem with my back, so that's the reason I was leaning down. Yeah. So it's all about, you know, me, the agent, when there's there's something to be to appreciate, something to be grateful, it's usually because of me. Or because of my friends or my parents. My parents gave me this. My friends gave me this. My teacher, my wife, my husband, my dad, my children, whatever. Right? So it becomes like when it is you that is achieving things, still it's not a bounty. You don't see it as a bounty. Even worse, I mean, this is at least acceptable. Even worse, what we do, oh, I have this beautiful thing. I was so lucky. The luck, whatever it means. It means there is no wisdom behind it. There is no reason that I received this, but it happened out of random chance, mere luck, and I'm lucky. I mean, think about it. When you call something as luck, I'm so lucky that I found a best wife. I'm so lucky that I found the best job. What it means, there's no wisdom in this experience. Don't look for it. Don't try to even understand it. Chance means out of nothing. There's no structure behind it. Like from a technical perspective, if you know anything about the probability and so on, right? It means there's no structure behind it. It just happens. Even if you try to follow, where it came from, you will not find any reason. You are so lucky. It means don't think about it. Don't appreciate it. In Quran, such attitude is defined as being a liar or covering up or lying. Is it clear how we, with heedlessness, not being able to see the bounties?
But Jazakallah khairan. So we're just going to highlight one of the points that came very early. Author opened it up by saying fast of Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. As if this is really defining property. It is so fundamental. So in this case, I guess just paying attention to it in the sense of this act of worship is going to teach me the very basics of what it means to be a Muslim or a person who submits to truth. And at the end of this part, since he said, someone who doesn't join this worship, is it worthy to be named as human? In this regard, as if the author is saying, I mean, as Prophet ﷺ says, every child is born into the fitrah of Islam, which means human is Muslim. Like this is what it should mean. I'm not talking about identities. But for a proper human being, what is meant from a human being is if that person submits to their creator, submits to the reality of why I am here. And fasting is one of the top 5 defining properties which makes a human being to fulfill this duty. Like it is really defining or describing, making me a proper human being. The teachings that comes with fasting is so fundamental. So much so that it became, like I guess if I was a sports person, what would be defining going to the gym or regular practice would be one of the things, I assume. And also watching out what you eat probably is the second most important thing, somewhat. So like there are certain things, whatever branch you are practicing in. So for being a proper human being, which equals being a proper Muslim, not identities, then fasting has something to do with that.
Okay, let's continue with the flow. We said there are all these bounties, but we don't see them most of times. And then causes. However, during the month of Ramadan, the people of belief suddenly become like a drawn up army. As sunset approaches, they display a worshipful attitude as though having been invited to the pre-eternal monarch's banquet. They are awaiting the command of fall to and help yourself. So what I understand from here, with the help of Ramadan and fasting, you realize what we discussed this at the very beginning with Sister Lerin, maybe. We said with the help of fasting, we remind ourselves, remember, realize our neediness. Right? We are needy, and the moment you realize your neediness, you are now open to see that you've been provided all these years. You've been provided before this need. Like I was not feeling hungry all these days before the Ramadan. And you start questioning why? Because I was able to eat. Oh, as a human being, I am someone who gets hungry, and then food is provided, and I eat this food, and I feel full. Need, sustenance, and this sustenance being provided. You realize this now. Oh, this is me. I keep be needy, and there's sustenance out there, and it is being provided all the time. Now, when somebody says you're hungry, waiting for the food, and Brother Yusuf says, now, do you remember you need air all the time, and the breathe, and air comes. You will not say, oh, what are you talking about, man, anymore. Because you are in a state where you realize you are really needy. And when he talks about another need of yours, you would say, oh yeah, this is true. I need water as well. Oh, do you know what? I also need love. Oh, my children are here, or my parents, my friends are here. This is sustenance for my need. Now you can realize all this. You are needy, and sustenance is out there, and you are being provided from everywhere, every direction. Right? You need your height for your, the sport, and you have it. A need being provided. You don't take it as, I was born, the tall. No, you take it as, I need this height, and it is being given to me. So, such a state of consciousness. Look, we are not still calling it as, the believer or Muslim. Just being conscious of what you are. This is the consequence of the Ramadan and fasting order says. And now he ties saying that this is being human. Being human is being aware of yourself. Being aware of how needy you are. Being aware that everything that you have are being given to you. It's not that you are achieving anything. If you can, just, get rid of your hunger without eating food. If it is you who creates this, the satisfaction in you, the feeling full, just create it. No, you have to worship through your need. When you eat food, so author mentioned this implicitly here. When you eat food, what it means? It's a declaration of your need. You say, I have something here, an emptiness, and I cannot get rid of it. I'm alone, are not able to get rid of this emptiness. It is declaration of that when you eat food. You say, I need something. Not here. It's out there. This is worship. Right? You are conscious of it or not. This is a worship. When you eat food, right, you declare that and then take action. So this food has whatever I need. I have to put it in my mouth. You do it and you appreciate the taste, and then the nutrition, right? Now you are realizing some qualities. The taste is being given. The fullness is given. This is worship. So this is human being. Being aware of your need, being aware of the sustenance. Even an unbeliever cannot deny this. That you are a needy person. Oh no, I'm not a needy person, I'm an atheist. It doesn't work. Right? You have to eat. So you have to acknowledge that you are needy. Then you have to acknowledge that there is a sustenance there. And you have to acknowledge that it needs to be provided to you, one way or another. No escape from that. Oh no, I'm a professor, man. I don't need such things. It doesn't work. This is being human. And when you do not do that, author says, what is left? You are like a plant. From our perspective, how plant works. They need some the minerals. Minerals are provided, and they don't feel anything. They don't appreciate it. They just use it. From our perspective, if you look from, let's say, correct perspective, you will realize even they appreciate it. Even they, send their thanks. But from our perspective, it's just being a plant. It's mechanistic. When there is sun on the left side, sunflower turns to left. That's how we see. Like animals, right? They have instincts, like we say. When they are hungry, they go just eat and then continue living. When you take out of the consciousness, out of the picture, being aware of your need, being aware of your sustenance, and being provided, what is left, the author says? You are nothing but a plant or animal. You're not even a human, he says. So hence, at the ayah, Quran says, it is a guidance. Revelation is a guidance for human beings. What it means? For those who are aware of what they are. They're not hiding their needs. They're not, they playing games. No, I conquered the world. I sustain my needs myself, or I sustain myself, not even needs. I can do this, I can do that. I don't need anything. I'm so rich, I have all this power. If Earth is not enough, I will go to Mars. Right? This is the prototype being shown to us. If you are such an animal, don't take it as a derogatory word or insult. I mean, most of them they happily would say, "Oh, we are animals, yeah." Right? Talking apes, socialized apes, or I don't know, some kind of animal. Author says, yeah. If you are not aware of yourself, honest to yourself, what you are, how needy you are, how much sustenance you need, it's endless. I mean, think about it. How many needs we have? Can we count? Need for air, need for the water, need for food. These are basic things. Need for love, need for appreciation, need for respect, need for recognition, clothing, need for seeing. If I cannot see, I feel bad because I have this need of seeing. Endless. When you cover up, you're just like an animal or a plant or a rock. And fasting in the month of Ramadan remind us that this. It prepare us for accepting revelation, so that revelation will be a guidance for us. Okay, everybody sleeping with the eyes open, inshallah. Should we continue with the second point? Okay, let's read it. Arsan, would you like to read it? Just, to complete the...
Second point.
Let's see who is reading better.
Oh, she's better. I'll give it to her.
That's mashallah.
The reflex now. Second point. One of the many instances of wisdom in the fast of the blessed month of Ramadan with respect to thankfulness for God Almighty's bounties is as follows. As is stated in the first word, a price is required for the foods a tray bearer brings from the royal kitchen. But to look on those priceless bounties as valueless while tipping the tray bearer and not to recognize the one who bestowed them is the greatest foolishness. God Almighty has spread innumerable sorts of bounties over the face of earth for mankind, in return for which he wishes thanks as the price of those bounties. The apparent causes and holders of the bounties resemble tray bearers. We pay a certain price to them and are indebted to them, and even they do not merit it or are over-respectful and grateful to them. Whereas the true bestower of bounties is infinitely more deserving of thanks than those causes which are merely the means of the bounty. To thank him, then, is to recognize that the bounties come directly from him. It is to appreciate their worth and to perceive one's own need for them. Fasting in Ramadan, then, is the key to true, sincere, extensive, and universal thankfulness. For at other times of the year, most people whose circumstances are not difficult do not realize the value of many bounties since they do not experience real hunger. If their stomachs are full, and especially if they are rich, they do not understand the degree of bounty present in a piece of dry bread. But when it is time to break the fast, the sense of taste testifies that the dry bread is a precious divine bounty in the eyes of the believer. During Ramadan, everyone from the monarch to the destitute manifests a sort of gratitude through understanding the value of those bounties. Furthermore, since eating is prohibited during the day, they say, those bounties do not belong to me. I am not free to eat them, for they belong to someone else and are his gift. I await his command. They recognize the bounty to be bounty and so give thanks. Thus, fasting in this way is in many respects a key to gratitude, gratitude being man's fundamental duty.
Any comments? Okay, let's make it little interactive for for some of us. I mean, do you know what she asked? She asked whether this halakha, ended. Why silence? You're not talking, right? So let's make it a bit, interactive. For some of us, it will be a repetition. I apologize for the, giving the same example. But since we are a lot of newcomers, maybe we can play the same game. So it's talking about, the giving the price for the tray bearer, the ones who, serves us, but not giving the price of the one who really, bestowing it us. So we were being served dates, right?
Dates or banana, which one would you like?
No, dates. Oh no, we don't need them.
Experiment.
Okay, mashallah. But is it halal? So you didn't steal it, right? Okay, mashallah. Did you pay for it? Who paid for this? Adil. Did you bring us halal food? Okay. I will accuse you, so let's go with you, not your wife. So is it halal? Inshallah, like, did you pay for it? You didn't steal it, right? Okay. How much you paid? Let's say $100. Okay. You paid it to whom? Cashier. Okay. Some of it goes to cashier, a tiny amount probably. And most of it goes to what? Sorry? Corporation. Now you bought it from, let's say, Costco. Yeah. The $100, I don't know, the $10 goes to Costco. The rest goes to where? Producer. Before producer, there's distributor, right? Yeah. Distributor gets some share. From the remaining part, producer gets some share. Even probably before that, there's like a people who stock them. They get their share. And then people who brings it to the stockers get their share. And then the producers, right? There's a tiny amount out of this $100 goes to what? The farmer, fertilizers, seed, right? The water, everything. And the rest, when it goes to Marshall, okay, thank you for reminding us. Otherwise, IRS will come and, arrest you. So you paid to every actors, and there's nothing left out of $100, right? Where did you pay for the date itself? Did you pay for it? Like you paid for the distributor for distributing it, labor. You paid to the corporation for serving it on shelves. You paid for the stocker for stocking. Paid for the farmer for labor again. You paid for, I don't know, fertilizers, everything. But the date itself, how much you paid? So maybe it's not halal. Maybe you stole it. Okay. We say Bismillah and then Alhamdulillah. So this is the reality, right? We never pay for date. So author says, like, why not? You're paying for everyone who, put some labor. Nothing with they don't even do anything with related to date. It's like driving a car. You take it from one place to another place. You pay for this. Even for farmer, right? You pay for what? Just muscle power. Nothing related to date. Out of this $100, especially the 20%, which goes to government, right? They don't even. Oh, I shouldn't say it. Okay. They deserve it, man. I mean, so you don't pay a single penny for the date, but you still call it halal. You don't steal it. and you serve it to your friends. So how we pay for the date itself, or to whom we pay? Like you get some money and put in the zakat, the box in a masjid, maybe this way. Any ideas how we pay for the date while I'm eating? Please speak.
We thank Allah for it while we're eating it and after we're done eating it. That's pretty much it.
Well, for me to give thanks for something I have, I need to first recognize who made it, who brought it to me. And so with the date, if I really think about it and go through this process of like trying to find out who actually made it for me, then it's not the distributor, it's not the corporation, it's not the farmer, but it's somebody who knows me because it's in perfect harmony with how my body is made. For example, it's sweet and I have a sense of taste. It's nutritious and I'm in need of nutrients. It's you look at the qualities that are reflected in whatever is given and the qualities or the needs that are being satisfied. It ultimately must be somebody who is knowledgeable of those needs and also capable of fulfilling them. So when I try to find out who should I be giving thanks to, I need to start with reflecting on what I'm given. And then that will point me to what kind of a person made whatever I'm given. So then I can start to see the names of God there.
Jazakallah. Very beautiful. So again, with the heedlessness, we forget about the things themselves, how valuable, how precious they are. We send our thanks to distributors, the labor, right? Like you order something from Amazon, the best product, and you say, thank you, Jeff Bezos. Like you did a great job. This is our reality. This is what we do. And forget about the item that we purchase. So I'm eating date. I'm not even think about date, right? I pay for it and it's mine to consume. The rest is not important anymore. But in the month of Ramadan, when we are hungry, when we are served the date and I'm about to break my fast, if somebody talks to me about the labor, distributor, the government, I said, with the government, man, I need the date. Now I realize what I need. Not the government, but the date, right? I can realize my need and its real value. It reminds me that. Now I can appreciate it. And how we pay for it, as sister said, by sending thanks. What it means, sending thanks.
Just open it up. What do you mean when you say farmer doesn't make dates? I mean, of course, farmer makes dates. I mean, they produce, no? At least they have a share in it. Like, because if farmer doesn't do anything, then there's no dates. So farmer is putting some efforts. So it looks like at least farmer has a share in there, isn't it?
MashaAllah. Tricky question. Arsalan, would you like to take the question? No? Come on, man. Adil, would you like to take since it's your stolen dates? So it seems like the farmer is making the date. So if I pay for like the farmer, that should be okay.
I agree with Brother Yusuf in that, and you as well. that along the way, each transaction made possible by all the moving parts and the stakeholders in it, they all deserve credit for being able to supply to the consumer. So they deserve credit to that extent, whatever they've done. But ultimately, it's as you said, it's the price we pay is just means to an end, which is the sustenance that it's providing to us. So while giving due credit to everybody involved, ultimately the thanks is only for Allah, and that is the true cost, or rather the price that we pay.
So inshallah, you paid this price.
Inshallah, I
for
try my
serving it
best.
to us.
We'll try our best, inshallah.
The jokes aside, in another text, the author says, don't take from those who do not serve in the name of God, or take only from those who serve in the name of God, and take it in the name of God. So otherwise, it will be a stolen product that you are receiving. Anyway, let's go with this question. The farmer.
Oh. And just to highlight what author is saying in here, says like tray bearer, let's say there's this king, like British king, not rather like the bigger one, the king one. So he brings us, or he sends me some sort of a jewel, and Brother Birkan carries this jewel on a tray serving me. And I take the jewel and I say, thank you, Brother Birkan. But I never thank King Charles. Okay, this is the scenario. Author is saying that you thank Brother Birkan because he brought it from Buckingham Palace all the way to Philadelphia. Okay, you paid Brother Birkan's due, but Brother Birkan has no share in the jewel, is author's claim. Asking it the other way around, but I would say, well, if Brother Birkan wasn't, I wouldn't have received the jewel. And it looks like he took it out of his pocket as well. I think he also has a share in the jewel itself, at least partially. Because when it comes to the farmer, similar idea. Farmer brings me the date. He picked it up from the tree, but he has been monitoring that date for 2 months, 3 months. Gradually it grows. So isn't it that farmer has a share in the making of the date as well?
There was a hand raised somewhere there. Oh, so there not.
I just have a question, because when we say that the farmer has a share or the driver has a share, what we're saying is without them, this wouldn't have happened, right? That's the way we're thinking, and I'm trying to understand where the flaw is in that kind of thinking, because when we think of the whatever product we're given and just focus on that and focus on the qualities that it has or it's been given and we are benefiting from, I can make the connection. Okay, the farmer does not know me, the driver does not know me, but I'm given like the ability to enjoy this date, and I'm given the date. So somebody somewhere must know me and must be providing for me. I can make that connection. But if I try to think of it from the perspective of, can this come to me without the driver, then I'm kind of hitting a roadblock.
No, that's actually perfect that you are hitting the roadblock, because this is how it should be. When you talk about the counterfactual, like if it was not this way, you're talking about a speculative, non-existing thing that you didn't experience. You didn't experience that the farmer was not there and so on. So you shouldn't be able to think about it and interpret it. There's no such reality. It's just words. So it is normal, I would say, and it is expected that you cannot think of it, because there's no such thing. I don't experience such thing. All I experience, I take a seed I put on the ground and it flourishes. After a certain time, it becomes a tree. After a certain time, it becomes like bearing some fruits. That's the only thing I experience. And I question, is it my action that taking a seed and putting on the earth, creating the fruit? I can ask this question. And I easily realized, I said, no, this is just like filling an application form, right? I want fruit, and I see that there's an order, right? As if telling me that if you want fruit, please apply this way. Like when you go to DMV, right? Zaria? When you go to DMV for registration, for instance, they say you need to fill form 87-3, and you have to give these and these that information. They say if you fill the other form K79, we will not give you registration. If you want registration, you need to fill this form with these information. Go ahead, please.
But then we don't mistake the form to be the one giving you.
Sorry?
But we don't mistake the form to be the one giving you whatever authority that you're getting in that case. Like not attributing power or share to those individual unconscious or beings, but rather merely understanding it to be the order, and they're all like it's working together.
Yeah, exactly. Like there is such an order, and when you follow this order, they will give you registration. You don't say that the act of filling this form created registration. You don't take it that way, right?
See that in the driver example.
In the farmer example, farmer wants fruit. And he observed the reality. He sees that, oh, there's a specific form that I need to fill, which is taking the seed, putting on the earth, and water it. That's the information, I need to fill. He does, and then the fruit is given. And to show that it is not that your act of filling this application form creates the tree or the fruit, sometimes it's not given. Right? Most of the time it is given so that you can understand the order, you can follow the order. But sometimes it's not. From that you understand, oh, it's not me that's creating this fruit. I'm just following an order, set order. I'm asking in a certain way, and the fruit is given. So in that sense, the farmer doesn't have any share. Farmer just asked for it. I mean, if he or she has any share, we should thank for his asking. That's all. But the fruit itself, they didn't do anything. It's like, I go to Amazon, I order the best gift to my wife. It comes, I give it to my wife. She says, oh, thank you, this is so beautiful. And I say, I made it. And then she says, oh, what are you talking about? You just, click a few buttons. You didn't even go to store and select it. You didn't even know how it felt like. Just look at the screen, click a few buttons. And that much, I thank you. But don't expect me to thank you for the thing itself. And then author says, for the thing itself, you should be also thankful. And during the month of Ramadan, you remember this. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I mean, this farmer example brings one story to mind. So when my parents moved to where they live now in Pakistan, this was like before even I was born. So my father planted a lot of trees in our backyard, and there was one date palm that he planted, and it's interesting that within it's one of those kinds of trees where it has like a male and a female type. So it's only the female date palm that bears the fruit. So, and you don't know which kind you're planting essentially. So after like a decade or so, they eventually found out that this tree doesn't bears any fruit. And then of course, we had a gardener. So he told us that, oh, it's actually a male date palm that you have. And out of that one date palm, all of our neighbors, so with this male date palm would often bear like, I think, white flowers or something. Like the pollen is important for the fertilization for the female date palm to bear fruit. So all of our neighbors would take these flowers or something out of this tree, and that's how they were able to, their
germinate their
yeah,
trees.
exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting, like even after you put in all the effort or so, it is only, like you don't know if it bear the fruit or not, right?
And like your story is very interesting in the sense that you ask for something, it is not given to you, but it's a means for the sustenance for others. Jazakallah. Oh, okay. We can say that we are on time. We don't have to, go until the very end. Any comments, questions? So far what we studied, the fasting reminds us that we are needy. Reminds us that we cannot sustain our needs ourselves. All these years, even when I was eating, it was not me sustaining myself. I was constantly worshiping. I was saying that I am needy, I need food. Please, food, right? With my just being hungry. Need is here, sustenance is there, and it is being provided. I realized this. And then we said, with fasting, we remember the value of the thing that is being served to us. All these years, we've been paying to the distributors. The Amazon, Jeff Bezos, right? He became filthy rich because of our things, right? Now, we say during the month of Ramadan, when you're fasting, when you're breaking your fast, at least pay. You didn't pay before, at least now, pay for the actual value to the actual owner. We remember this. All these will come together, inshallah. At the end, we will say, okay, now I became a human being and revelation will work on me. Now I read Quran with these like a mindset, it will become a guidance for me, inshallah. جزاكم خيرا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين الفاتحة